we need education for the consumer. We need to tell the consumer what that is. And in Brazil, it's as different and opposed as it can be from the staple coffee. I mean, especially coffee, so different from what people are used to having, that it's almost aggressive, the difference. People are going to get like, but this is not coffee. What is it? It's really different, more than other countries in the world. And I've been around. And so how can you tell people in Brazil to pay more and to value something that they have, like they drink commodity. It's a culture. It's commodity is a consumption culture. It's not only the product. So how can you tell them? How can you change the producing part, the roasting part, and the consuming part? How can you change the whole chain into quality if you don't educate? So education is needed all over, especially to the consumer who's actually going to pay for this, and they have to pay more.
If you're looking for a free way to support the work we do, bringing you conversations with our amazing guests on the Daily Coffee Pro podcast by Map It Forward, please subscribe, follow, and rate us wherever you listen to the podcast. It really helps us out. It's also a huge help if you share this episode and our social media content with your coffee friends. For links, check the show notes. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 3 of a 5-part series with Isabela from Coffee Lab in Brazil. We're talking about understanding Brazil as an origin country. And in this episode, we're going to talk about why specialty coffee is so important for the Brazilian economy and the environment and the social dignity of the Brazilian people. So, Isabela, give us a landscape of how is specialty coffee seen in Brazil today, from a consuming end and from the producing end and in between?
That's an amazing question. It seems as something very new, very young, and it is, right? In the world, it's not only here. So it's just we produce 10 million bags of specialty coffee, or 80 points above, or something like that. And only 1.3 million stay here.
Really?
So, yeah. So, not much, right? So, the consumption of high quality coffee is very, very tiny yet. It's growing. We live in a bubble, right? We think that everybody knows what we're talking about, but the staple coffee is really bad in Brazil. I mean, bad quality. Why?
Like instant coffee bad?
Almost.
Okay.
It's like the rest of the rest of the rest.
Oh, right.
It's not figurative. It's literal. It's the rest of the rest of the rest. That's what we roast and carbonize, because that's how we can actually have it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able. If we don't carbonize this, we wouldn't be able to drink it. Because we mix. We get all this rest of the rest of the rest, and then we mix more green coffee, the fruit green, the peel of the fruit,
the cascara.
Yeah, but fermented, not a good cascara.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's carbonized. That's what we have in our daily life, and that's everyone.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everyone. The guy that has sassicaia wine for lunch, he has that kind of coffee. So there's no information around about quality coffee yet. It's the word is spreading. We're growing, but it's still so small that people don't know what a high quality coffee is. And so it's something new, something people are still learning about, and so is the producer.
And are most
It's
people drinking, sorry to interrupt you, are most people drinking Robusta or Arabica, or it just doesn't matter? It's just the leftovers of the leftovers of the leftovers of the defects.
most is Arabica because most of what we produce is Arabica, right?
Okay.
And 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 most of the Canephora is exported. Of course,
Right.
there is Canephora, and the rest of the reservoir is Canephora as well. But most of it, sometimes even 100% is Arabica for some low grade coffees, roasteries. I don't think they shouldn't exist because we, specialty coffee people, we need them to exist so we can buy the quality coffee of those producers that made the change and want to focus on quality. But they also have low grade coffee to sell, and they need to sell that so they can make their business going. They can pay the bills. So it's just a matter of information, in my opinion. So we're in the very beginning of the specialty coffee or high quality coffee history in the world, different from wine, because people in the world, they about know what's really high end wine, and they know what's middle quality, whatever you mean or you think it's high quality or middle quality wine, and the low quality wine. You know what that is. People around the
Mm-hmm.
world, they already know what that is. It doesn't happen for coffee yet. We're too young. So people in the world, they still don't know. They don't have the repertoire to know what high quality is. So how can they know what middle quality is
Right.
if you don't know
Yeah.
the limits? You only know what middle is if you know the limits. And we're still
Mm-hmm.
teaching people about it in the world, and in Brazil, that's happening as well. For the producing side, it's even harder because how do you convince a producer to invest their time and money into quality if they don't have the buyer?
Right.
And then if you tell them, look, quality coffee is going to give you this amount of money and the bag and blah blah blah, and then they make all the effort to produce quality coffee, and then they don't sell this coffee because that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now, for example, tomorrow I'm going to this region I love to for an event, and they asked me to talk to the producers about why I like it so much and why they have all this potential for quality. And a lot of them still don't produce quality, and they're very small. And I have to be very careful not to tell them, look, if you produce quality coffee, you're going to get this for the bag, 5 times more, 3 times more. I can't tell them that. It's too risky. It's their lives. It's a family life. I can't tell them that. I can tell that there's this happening. If you start trying to getting to know this business a little more, these roasteries, these events, if you try to get out of your farm a little more and try to see and get to know people, you might have means to sell your coffee better. And that's where the associations are not helping at all. They're focusing on telling the producer how to produce quality when right now they should be building commercial ways and tracks and means for the producer to want to produce better coffee. And so we're in an educational phase. It's like Coca-Cola. When they first began in the 19th century, somebody had to educate people about that weird liquid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs education anymore about Coca-Cola. But in one day, it began. One day, somebody had to tell a story about this for people to be interested in buying. So we need education for the consumer. We need to tell the consumer what that is. And in Brazil, it's as different and opposed as it can be from the staple coffee. I mean, especially coffee, so different from what people are used to having, that it's almost aggressive, the difference. People are going to get like, but this is not coffee. What is it? It's really
Right.
different, more than other countries in the world. And I've been around. And so how can you tell people in Brazil to pay more and to value something that they have, like they drink commodity. It's a culture. It's commodity is a consumption culture. It's not only the product. So how can you tell them? How can you change the producing part, the roasting part, and the consuming part? How can you change the whole chain into quality if you don't educate? So education is needed all over, especially to the consumer who's actually going to pay for this, and they have to pay more, and that's who have, and that's, I mean, I don't mind making my customer pay high prices for coffee. They are paying already, and I don't feel any resistance. I don't feel resistance from them.
It's an interesting dynamic, right? This moment that we're in, because I know you've seen the series with Michael Sheridan. And in the last episode of that series, I said to him, you guys keep focusing on this idea of quality, as quality is the way to get the producer out of this scenario that they're in. But in a year like 2025, how much does a producer care about quality? Right?
Some of them, they're not producing quality because it's easier not to.
Well, in a year like 2025, a producer is looking at the price. So, well, at least the producers that I've spoken to are saying that if somebody's going to hand over the price, that's 3 times what I was getting paid last year, and I don't have to put in anywhere near as much effort to create the quality and the standard that I was creating last year, this is a shortcut for me to get myself out of debt. No one can blame the producer for doing that. However,
No.
on the other side of it, with prices this high, the consumer being signaled through the media, mainstream media, that the price of coffee is going up, if we were to hand them a cup of specialty coffee as we're asking them to pay more money, now all of a sudden they don't feel so bad about spending more money on coffee because they're having a different experience. So you can see from the producer's end that's saying to us, like, I don't have the bandwidth after so many years of doing it so hard. I don't have the bandwidth to keep going with your fucking specialty coffee. It didn't pay dividends for me. But on the other side, if they do stick with it a little longer, this is the time that the consumer is going to be more open to experiencing something different, because the gap between commercial coffee and specialty coffee is much shorter from a price perspective and from an access perspective. It's complicated, right? Like, we're in a complicated moment of our industry. And is Brazil seeing it that way as well?
Yes, I guess so. A lot of producers, they're like, okay, now this year is more comfortable because I don't need to make so much effort to get the same money. Amazing. But these are the ones that are not looking into how important the relationship between you and your clients, your customers is.
Yeah.
So this is going to separate men from boys. Right?
I love it. So as we explore that, one thing I want to ask you is, why now is specialty coffee something? Let me ask it different. Do you think that this is a moment that we need to capture for specialty coffee in Brazil? Like, it's an opportunity, it's a gateway right now to make a move in specialty coffee and make it more popular.
In which part of the
Brazil.
chain? It depends.
You choose.
For the producing part, I mean, they're not making a lot of money because one of the reasons why coffee is so expensive, it's because there's a lack of coffee.
Yeah, there's no coffee.
So, of course, the big ones are really, really surfing that wave right now, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. For them, it's easier, but most of them are not big, big, big and rich. And so they're making almost the same money, bulk, because there's less coffee. So, but um, the cost of how do you say that in English? What you put in your crop,
The the inputs.
nutrients, the
The
inputs. Yes,
inputs.
right. The inputs are higher as well, and they're not going down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem.
Something that people, that Isabela said something really important that we need to point out. What I would love people to start thinking about when it comes to the amount of money we're paying producers is not just the price that we pay for the coffee, but I would love people to start thinking about the income or the revenue of the business, the total revenue of a business. So that is dependent. Like, let's say we're paying producers more money. If they don't have enough coffee, the total net revenue of the business or the income of the business is probably going to be the same as it was when the prices were low. Because there's no net difference. The prices are high for a reason, folks. There's no coffee. And as Vinny came on the podcast and said, like maybe 10% of farmers in Brazil actually were able to take advantage of the high prices. The rest of people weren't able to take advantage of it. So it's important for us not to like lay this blanket idea that all farmers are getting rich off this. This price increase is not everything that it's cracked up to be, and it's not as straightforward as everybody thinks it seems to be. So if that's the case, as you mentioned, for the producing side, what about for the consuming side? Is this a moment for specialty coffee in Brazil?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because when I teach this managing coffee shop workshop, I tell them, look, don't try to go to middle quality or low quality. Low quality people already have. You don't have added value for that. You're not going to make a lot of money unless you're in a very, very high, I mean, like an airport or a lot of people are walking by.
Right,
But
footfall.
Yeah, right. Footfall. Footfall. Yes. But right now, specialty coffee is something new. People don't know about it, and the percentage of consumers of specialty coffee is like unmeasurable yet. So, if you were the one telling people what that product is, in a very interesting way, you're gonna be able. It comes already with added value. It comes with real stories. I mean, it's legitimate. It's legitimate. Yes.
Yeah.
It's legitimate. It's real lives. It's real families behind your coffee. It's exactly what this generation wants. It treats the environment better. It treats people better. It pays better. So why not? There's no question that is the good way now, because it's still so. I mean, we still don't have so many coffee shops dealing with quality coffee. We still have a lot of people to educate. Why wouldn't you go that way? It's like crazy not to go, because you have to tell people what that high end is. So people then can choose, and then you can go to the middle part, and then you can do whatever. But it's still time for you to tell people about that. So it's a good business. It's a good business. You asked me about the net profit the other day. I was going. I studied in English what is the difference between EBITDA and net profit. Our net profit is 10%. Net last line.
That's quite amazing. Just to fill you guys in that are listening, Isabela and I were talking about how a lot of businesses are struggling right now. And she was telling me that hers is not. And she's like, we're actually doing very well. And I'm like, wait, how? What is going on there? And of course, there are businesses out there that are doing very well, but Isabela's business is doing very, very well. And we were just talking about like what the actual numbers were. And what it sounds like to me, Isabela, is that as coffee's growing, evolving in Brazil, specialty coffee seems to be the path of least resistance for competition, right? Like you don't really have that many competitors if you get into the specialty side of the industry in Brazil compared to the commercial side of the industry. You know, something that's really interesting there is that we talk about first to market advantage. And right now, that's what's happening, right? Like your business absolutely was one of the first to market, but there's still room for the early adopters as business owners to come in and help really determine what the direction of specialty coffee is going to be in Brazil. Tell me something. What role are associations playing in specialty coffee and helping that become more adopted in Brazil? Say as much or as little as you want.
Oh my God, my internet's very bad.
Okay, next question. So then help me.
I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm. You don't have to say anything. We can move on.
I think it's funny because there's this association of industrial coffee, commodity coffee. For the internal market, I think they have done more. I'm not saying that they did a very good job. I'm just saying that they did more than the Specialty Coffee Association.
That's the association that released the number that I quoted, about 15% is down. That's the name of them.
ABIC.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually did a nice job trying to categorize and to organize the quality categories. And I don't think it's ideal. I don't think it's amazing, but it's something.
It's a step.
It's exactly. And they're the industry, the commodity industry. So they were actually very brave doing that because they're actually telling their own members that the coffee that they're making might be shitty. And you can go a step up and you can go a step up and still do the bad coffee. And let's just organize that into categories. And that's so good. And so for the internal market, I think they have done way better than any specialty coffee association or group that around. I mean, they're not the PSA, they're more focused, or they were, I don't know if they're changing that, but they were more focused on the market abroad, right? The exporting. So that's their focus. And I believe that we have a huge country. We are the biggest producer. If we can make more Brazilians to consume more coffee and better coffee, it's going to be good economically wise for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not
and environmentally.
That's even better. Because of course, if you want to have a sustainable specialty coffee production, it's impossible not to go towards regenerative farming. It's impossible. Someday people will actually realize that you have to be as close as you can, as near as you can as to that. It's good for everyone.
I dream of the day. I dream of the day that people understand that, like, people like us are not just trying to sell a course. You know, when we sell our regenerative ag course, it's $10 people. Like, we're not trying to make money off this. We're trying to get you to realize that this is the only way that we're going to actually get enough coffee grown and help return the earth to the place that it needs to be, back to balance. Coffee is a
Yes.
silver bullet for that. And if a country like Brazil can adopt regenerative, you don't even have to go all the way to agroforestry like Felipe is doing, right? Even
No,
if
no.
you just like start at the fundamentals of regen, like it is life-changing for the earth. So
That's right.
anyway.
Small producers, they are family producers, right? That's where they live.
Mm,
That's where their house is. That's where they're. So they naturally, they're more careful.
yeah.
They're just more careful naturally. They have to be. It's their house. And so it's big farmers, most of them, they don't live in the farm, but they don't even, some farms, they don't even have a house in the farm. It's just production. So specialty coffee, and there's less middlemen. Of course, they're necessary for exporting. Of course, I have the privilege of being a roaster in a producing country that has from the best to the worst coffee. We have it all. And it's right there, 3 hours away from me if I want to. It's a lot more. So we are many countries in one when it comes to producing coffee. And I have quality, I have high quality, middle quality, I have whatever I want to, just in a drive distance. It's a privilege to buy from the producer direct, to see it happening in front of us, to learn more about our own product. That's a privilege. That's something that we have to take more care of. We have to make more people drink more coffee, so it's going to be good for us, for the consumer, for the health of the consumer, because it's a very healthy product. It's going to be more economically good for the whole chain. For the roasters, it's less cost. For the producer, of course, the traders, they have to be focusing on the external market, of course, but they're still going to be extremely necessary.
Even when she's not taking a stab at the BSCA, she's taking a stab at the BSCA.
No, they're necessary. Oh, look, people, roasters around
They are
the world, they're not.
necessary.
Yeah, they're absolutely necessary. And the more we make Brazilians drink this coffee, the more expensive the coffee will be, the more money they're going to make as well. Because
and you keep the money in the country.
it's going to value more, even for exporting. So they're going to make more money as well. That's bright. That's intelligent. That's math. That's basic math.
Speaking of math, we're going to get in the next episode, we're going to be talking about converting the Brazilian coffee consumer to specialty. We're going to dig even deeper into that. So join us for that episode. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.